MCL, the world in your home.
Good morning, and you're welcome to your number one breakfast program on TV. Good morning, Abia. My name is Michael Ofonye, and of course, on this program, all we do is to tell you what is making round in the world of news, and also we'll also give you opportunity to be part of our discussion segment. I'm not alone this morning. I have Ruth Hands with me this morning. Ruth, good morning. It's nice to have you on the breakfast program.
Good morning, Michael, and honored to be here also. And good morning to you, Abians. Welcome to your one-stop breakfast program on MCLtv. Good morning, Abia.
All right, still talking about what is going to happen on the program. Just to take you up to speed or bring you up to speed that it is 23 days left, and you and I, Nigerians, will be heading to the polls. For us here at MCLtv, the countdown has started. But the question is, do you have your PVC? Because that is the power that you and I have to get the right people to be in the right position. Ruth, 23 days left. Your expectations?
Well, I expect lots of things to happen as, of course, the drama is gradually unfolding. Things have started unfolding and revealing itself. And I think people are really agitated. They can't wait for the day for them to go out there and exercise their franchise and, of course, their power to vote in the right leaders. If you move on the street, walk into the street, you see people talking about politics. It's never been like this before.
Yes. So you mean the inputs, the expectations, and people waiting to vote for the right people is so intense. People want to carry out.
It's very, very high, and I think this is one of the elections people look forward to. People are really looking forward to this. PVCs are being collected on a daily basis. People are even traveling just to get their PVC, just to tell you that they are very, very eager to actually go out there and vote. And of course, we know it's going to be a free, fair, and credible election. INEC has promised us that.
All right, free, fair, and credible election. So says Ruth that INEC is giving his word that look, you need not to bother yourself, that we're in charge and we'll make sure that your votes and my votes will be counted. All right, quickly, let's take you to the words of marbles this morning. The words that spoils you all to be a better person. And the words of marble this morning comes up with these.
It's coming from Todd Stalker. It says, joy weathers any storm, happiness rises the wave. Joy weathers any storm, happiness rises the waves, coming from Todd Stalker.
All right. Joy weathers any storm and happiness ride the waves. And all you just need to do yourself this morning is believe in yourself and believe that once you're happy, it gives you the right mindset to do the right thing. And it also gives you the enable environment, because a smiling face, somebody says a smiling face will always open doors. And I think that would work. All right, that's the words of marble for us this morning. The word that spurs us to be a better person. Quick, let's go back to Ruth O'Hams to tell us what is making round in the world of news. Ruth, it's up to you.
Welcome to the news segment, and now details of the news. President Muhammadu Buhari has transmitted the National Minimum Wage Bill to the National Assembly. His senior special assistant to National Assembly Affairs, Senator Itan Enang, confirmed this to State House correspondents yesterday. He said the bill was transmitted to the Parliament earlier yesterday, but declined to give details of the content of the bill. The development comes barely 24 hours after the National Council of State approved 27,000 naira, while the federal government said it will increase the new minimum wage to 30,000 naira for federal workers. Also, the Nigerian Union of Teachers, NUT, is also insisting on 30,000 naira as the new minimum wage nationwide. NUT Secretary General Dr. Mike Ennis said the council should make the new minimum wage equal across board. Workers in Nigeria currently receive 18,000 naira as minimum wage. The figure came into effect in 2011 when former President Goodluck Jonathan signed it into law, raising the wage from the previous 7,500 naira. Meanwhile, Buhari has assented to the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018. Enang, in a statement, explained that the Act prohibits all forms of discrimination on ground of disability and imposes a fine of 1 million naira for corporate bodies and 100,000 naira for individuals, or a term of 6 months imprisonment for violation concurrently. It guarantees right to maintain civil action for damage by a person injured against any defaulter. The Act also provides for a 5-year transitional period within which public buildings, structures, or automobiles are to be modified to be accessible to and usable by persons with disability, including those on wheelchair. And the federal government and Global Fund GF has signed a mutual agreement to commit $71 million to the fight against HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. Global Fund had before now committed over $245 million to tuberculosis control response in Nigeria since the inception of GF support to TB in 2005. The Financial and Logistics Committed was in addition to other efforts put in by various stakeholders to control the spread of TB epidemic in Nigeria for the period of 2019 to 2020. A statement from the Federal Ministry of Health yesterday indicated that the Minister of State for Health, Dr. Sayo Hanire, signed the agreement on behalf of the federal government, while the head of Grant Management Global Fund, Mark Editon, led his officials to the event which took place at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja. Yohane observed in his remarks that the 2018 WHO Global Tuberculosis Report indicated that tuberculosis was taken over from HIV and AIDS as a leading cause of death from a single infectious agent. Rather, that tuberculosis has turned many children's orphans, taking many breadwinners away with severe consequences on the economy of families and also on Nigeria's economy, demanding an end to the trend. Confess that over the years, the National Tuberculosis Control Program, NTBLCP, through the support of several partners, including the World Health Organization, Global Fund, has made giant strides in the control of tuberculosis in the area of policy development, capacity building, expansion of services and provision of quality care, while addressing the need of vulnerable groups and key populations. And the Minister of Communications, Adebayo Shitu, has assured Nigerians that the collaboration between Nigeria and India in the area of information and communications technology, ICT, will be beneficial to both countries in several ways in the area of local capacity building. This is just as the federal government and the Republic of India have begun moves to upgrade the bilateral agreement existing between both countries in the area of human capacity development, e-government, industrialization, and ICT. This was made known when the Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Abhi Thakur, paid a courtesy visit to the Minister of Communications in Abuja. Receiving the High Commissioner, Shitu said India remained one of the best countries Nigeria had enjoyed a relationship with in terms of partnership and benefited both countries. He urged the Commissioner to appeal to Indian companies to translate their investment plans and interests on Nigerian soil to reality in order to boost the economic fortunes of both countries. She said a lot of Indian companies had often indicated interest to invest in Nigeria by way of establishing industries, but rarely translate such into action, hence the need to encourage them to translate such interest into reality. The minister called on the commissioner to encourage Indian investors to establish 5G network village in Nigeria and also partner stakeholders in building the proposed ICT park in Abuja, which is expected to be located in a free trade zone that would add beauty and elegance to the country as well as boost revenue base of the investors. The Justice, Development and Peace Center, in collaboration with the Catholic Diocese of Umuahia, has held a governorship debate ahead of the March 2nd governorship elections. The event had in attendance candidates of the factional All Progressive Congress, APC, Uche Oga, Alex Oti of the All Progressive Grand Alliance, ABGA, and Blessed Mwama of the Social Democratic Party, SDP. And Gloria Okpara reports the Abia State Governor and the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Okeze Ikpeazu, was absent at the debate. The report.
The essence of the debate was to allow electorates to have first-hand information on the manifestos of their candidates. Reverend Father David Aguneri, the coordinator of the event, spoke on the essence of the debate.
The brain behind the debate is to bring those who want to be governors of the state together so that they can talk to the people and tell them why they want to be their governor. And people have an opportunity of also asking them some questions. We need to know the plan they have, their program of activities for the years they are going to be governor for the state.
As expected, each candidate was given equal opportunity to present their manifestos to their electorates.
The compassion and the passion I have for the people is the driving force for the change in our state. When we come into God, there will be a clear difference from the past and the present, because Abia has all it takes to stand out in the marketplace in our nation, Nigeria, touching the lives and growing the economy and touching the people and making sure that everybody is happy.
To lift my people, Abia people, from poverty. That is one of the major reasons I'm running. The second one is to bring development to Abia State. Because at the moment, Abia is like a second world country. I mean, state.
I want to be the governor of Abia State because I want to transform Abia to a land of prosperity, characterized by good governance, characterized by economic growth, characterized by employment provision, characterized by inclusion of women in governance, characterized by extinction of poverty in Abia land. When you deal with economic issues, deal with infrastructural issues, deal with social issues, social development, socio-economic development, you would have handled most of issues bothering Abians. And Abia would be that transformed state I desire.
Some participants who spoke to MCO News said the debate has afforded electorates an opportunity to get to know the governorship candidates of the different political parties and also ask them questions.
As far as Abia State is concerned, we are suffering. We are suffering. So if they could implement what they said and put it in, no, what about it? I wish the PDP man ought to be there, as to also interact and then his own view.
Very interesting, rightly engaging as well. All the candidates did well. They've been able to tell Abians, what they have in stock in their manifesto. It was an interesting one.
What I advise Abians to do, the electorates, is to vote in the right people that they think they will best represent what they want.
The electorates are of the opinion that the contestants should keep to their political promises if they emerge winners in order to revitalize Abia again. Gloria Okpara, MCO News.
Ecowa Shopping Center has held a prayer rally and the launch of a 5 million naira musical instrument fund at Flower Court Shopping Center. MCL News covered the prayer rally, and Stella Wandu reports.
The Ecoha Shopping Center has held its end of the year prayer summit. The event, which started with an opening prayer followed by praise and worship, also had ministration of the Word of God by Apostle Joseph Douglas. They thanked God for leading them through to the end of 2018. A welcome address was read by the chairman of Ecoha Shopping Center, Friday Dimiri. He encouraged the traders to be of good conduct.
Things of joy that we are alive today to participate in this year 2018 end of the year prayer meeting of Ecoha Shopping Center Traders Association. We are sincerely happy to see Her Excellency, the wife of Abia State Governor, distinguished senators, members of House of Representatives, and other top government officials.
Some other dignitaries who also spoke to MCL News expressed joy and had some words of encouragement for the traders.
Closing our activity, we are winding up all our activity for the year. This is our annual closing prayer for the year. Oh, it's a thing of joy. It's a thing of joy. It's been wonderful.
This market, like other markets in Abia, being God's own state, have the culture of holding beginning of year and end of year prayers. At the beginning of the year, they commend their activities, their business and everything into the hands of God. And by the end of the year, they come together to thank God for keeping them. And each time this happens, we always come and associate with them.
I'm happy that this very one is special. Yes, it's special, and we are doing it with comfortable mind and in a peaceful way.
I feel excited. Even today was one of my highest days to give such opportunity, and I delivered to the glory of God.
The event also featured an award presentation by the chairman and the vice chairman of Ecoha Shopping Center to some dignitaries as a means to thank them for their efforts towards the growth of the market. Some of the awardees spoke to MCL News.
I feel happy, I feel excited, and I believe my conscience tells me that those awards, I deserve it as a result of the selfless service which I did for this very market.
I want to appreciate the name of the Lord. It's not who will let and run. It's God who showeth mercy. I don't think that I'm worthy to stand up here to receive this award. If not God.
The event also saw the opening of Bath Azubike Madubuko Hall of Fame as a mark of remembrance for his selfless services to Ecoha Shopping Center. The event was graced by Uzo Azubike, Sone Madwako, Christian Mwobane, among others. Stella Wandu, MCL News.
And Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro on Wednesday gave United States diplomats 72 hours to leave the country in response to the head of the National Assembly declaring himself acting president amid massive anti-government protests. Hours after President Donald Trump officially recognized opposition leader Juan Guaido as the country's legitimate president, a defiant Maduro appeared before supporters to accuse the United States of backing an attempted coup. Maduro announced that he was cutting remaining political and diplomatic ties with Washington. The announcement came as thousands of Guaido backers took to the streets in the revitalized effort against Maduro, whose military response to the widespread demonstrations seemed more measured than in the past. And Trump vowed in a statement to use the full weight of United States economic and diplomatic power to press for the restoration of Venezuelan democracy. United States Secretary of State Mike Pompeo reiterated the United States will support Guaido as he carries his duties as president and decides the status of the country's diplomats in Venezuela. Maduro does not have the legal authority to break diplomatic relations with the United States or to declare our diplomats persona non grata, Pompeo said Wednesday evening in a statement. A senior Trump administration official dismissed as meaningless A jurors ordered that diplomats leave the country within days. With that, we've come to the end of the news segment, but Good Morning Abia continues with Michael Ofoyin. Do enjoy the rest of the program.
All right, thank you, Ruth, for taking us around news making round. And of course, we'll go for a break. And when we come back, it'll be time for us to take a look at the papers. Please do stay with us.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Another political season is here.
The storm of partisan politics has thrown up numerous candidates.
Who can best represent the people?
Abia Media Roundtable presents Political Debates 2019 for governorship and National Assembly candidates.
Let the best candidates emerge through fair debates on relevant issues. Abia Media Roundtable.
Fairness and integrity.
2019 Abia Political Debates.
Date 4th February for National Assembly candidates, 21st February for governorship candidates. Venue, Bines Hotel, Herbert Macaulay Hall, Aba. For more information, call 080-5483-3026, 080-3669-3622, or 080-3300-3566. This program is proudly brought to you by ACT-TV, BCA, Boss FM, Flow FM, Magic FM, MCLtv, NTA Channel 6 Aba, PBS, Pessetter FM, Love FM, Vision Africa, and Ibere Online TV.
Are you a plumber? Do you have 3 years experience in the job? Do you have good experience in store management and purchase? Then quickly apply to the management and Etona Hotel at number 6 Margaret Avenue, GRA, Aba, Abia State.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say, what did man go do for this world where people no go talk? If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, then go talk. What did make we do for this world? I say, make we go do the things where we carry for heart. Now so world want that. I be not been so.
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCLtv.
Good morning, Abia. Your one-stop breakfast show on TV. Good morning, Abia. Your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
You're welcome back, and if you're just joining us, this is still Good Morning Abia, coming to you live from the Abba studio here in Abba in Abia State. Quickly, it is time for us to take a look at the papers, and of course we have three papers on our desk this morning, starting with the Daily Sun. And the Daily Sun at the top right corner of the papers comes up with these: while Rivers will vote against APC, and it's coming from Governor Wike. That could be found on page 41 of the paper. Underneath that, it is Baywood Ibe Oshola Abdul Kadi commend the Sun Awards. And of course, that could be found on page 6 of the paper. And the big bold headline this morning is confusion over mode of transmitting polls results. And that could be found on page 6. Results will be sent electronically, and that is coming from REC. It is not possible as there's no legal backing, says INEC. And of course, if you're wondering the picture element there and why there is no smiling faces in that picture, of course the reason is that's the widow of the former chief of the French staff CDS, talking about Mrs. Mary Iyabade, performing the Dogs to Dogs right during the burial of the former CDS in Abuja yesterday. And quickly, at the right corner of the paper comes up with the new minimum wage. Labour takes battle to NAS as presidency transmits bills. And of course, that could be found on page 3 and page 11 of the paper. And underneath that is APC accuses Ohaneze of sabotaging Buhari's campaign. And that could be found on page 40. We scheduled meeting before campaign timetable, says Wondo. And under that is the special report. Abia pulls APC upsets PDP and ABGA party in strong contention in the Gilba NAS election. That could be found on page 31 and page 33 of the paper. Protesting youths block Enugu Onitsha Expressway. And of course, that could be found on page 40. Quickly, let's take you to the back page of the paper. And of course, it is the public forum, and it's no other person this morning than Uzo Maxim Uzota, the significance of the Zik Mausoleum. And we would want to spice up your day with the cartoon animation. And of course, it is Citizen Joe. And this morning, Citizen Joe is saying, if we expose those in Buhari's government, they will not only go to jail, but hell. OBJ is the one saying this. Baba, did you tell him so at Council of State meeting? Well, that's just to spice up your day, and believe me, we'll come to that when we get to the time to review the papers. Ruth, it's up to you.
And now we'll move quickly to the Nation newspaper there. We'll be starting from the top left. And of course, we have headlines there. TUC shifts wage battle to National Assembly. TUC shifts wage battle to National Assembly. And Supreme Court refuses to hear 14 pre-election cases. Supreme Court refuses to hear 14 pre-election cases. A youth coalition endorses President Muhammadu Buhari. Comes with the picture element there of the President of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and on the right you're seeing the picture element of the tennis queen, Serena Williams. And youth coalition endorses President Muhammadu Buhari. Ayade kicks off campaign. Ayade kicks off campaign. Serena suffers total collapse. Serena suffers total collapse, and 2.5 million benefit from cash transfer. 2.5 million benefit from cash transfer. Details of these stories you can read up on pages 2, 9, 4, 47, and 8 respectively. Underneath that, you're seeing a picture element, but we're reading a story there, a headline before the picture element. Ekebe insists on financial autonomy for local governments. Ekebe insists on financial autonomy for local governments. Page 40 is where you can read up the rest of the story. A picture element there, a tanker that was engulfed in fire. Some of the tankers involved in the fire. Yesterday, 10 tankers worth 100 million naira lost to fire in Warri. 10 tankers worth 100 million naira lost to fire in Warri, Delta State. Page 4 is where you can read up that story to know how it all happened. A screaming headline is underneath that, and of course we're seeing no plan to frustrate Buhari's campaign, says Ohaneze. No plan to frustrate Buhari's campaign, says Ohaneze. We fixed our meeting, oblivious of APC timetable. We fixed our meeting, oblivious of APC timetable. A story you can find on page 7. APC enraged over PDP's 388 million naira US lobbying deal. APC enraged over PDP's 388 million naira US lobbying deal. The agreement was signed before the PDP primaries, and it was for promoting free and fair elections. PDP responds. The agreement was signed before the PDP primaries, and it was for promoting free and fair elections. And APC is saying they are paying huge sum of money to engage consultants to deceive those abroad and Nigerians. They are paying huge sums of money to engage consultants to deceive those abroad and Nigerians. That is coming from APC. Want to know more about the banter between PDP and APC? Continue the story on page 6. Away from that, tax on luxury items, corporate gains coming. Tax on luxury items, corporate gains coming. And of course, this is coming from Finance Minister Zainab Ahmed. Page 6 is where you can read up the continuation of that story. Underneath that, reps to meet executive over errors in 2019 budget. Reps to meet executive over errors in 2019 budget. Lulu Breeze unveils plans. Lulu Breeze unveils plans. Pages 8 and 40. That is where you can read up the details of those stories. Okay, we'll quickly move from the front page to the back page of the Nation newspaper, where we are saying today the Nation, coming from Jide Oluwajiyotan, and of course it says it is obvious that the concern of Onagan's fair weather friends is about jurisdiction, a technical method some senior lawyers often use to delay cases. It is obvious that the concern of Onagan's fair weather friends is about jurisdiction, a technical method some senior lawyers often use to delay cases. Oluwajiyotan today in the Nation. Comment and debate is next, and it's coming from Wenga Omotosho editorial notebook, and of course it comes with the title, Help, Our Leaders Need Good Doctors. Help, Our Leaders Need Good Doctors. Okay, and of course we're seeing a future element of President Muhammadu Buhari and former President Olusegun Obasanjo at the Villa on Tuesday, shaking hands. Help, Our Leaders Need Doctors. A jackpot hunt goes Ari is another column there to look out for on the Nation newspaper back page. Away from that, hardball is up next. A controversial idea is the title of this one. A controversial idea. How controversial is it? Or is it because you know better when you get the Nation newspaper? Ripples is a character there. There's a question. I'll lift 80 million Nigerians out of poverty, says news. There's a question. I'll lift 80 million Nigerians out of poverty. And the man there is laughing and he's responding, 80 million Nigerians? I bet politicians are very good liars. Coming from the man there.
All right, quickly, let's take the last paper on our text this morning, and of course, it is the New Telegraph. And the New Telegraph, at the top of the paper, comes up with these: Osibajo buying votes with trader money for Obasanjo, and the Vice President also gives his own reply: "You are ignorant of poverty reduction scheme." And that is the two faces of the former president, talking about Olusegun Obasanjo, talking about the ex-president, and also the current vice president of the country, exchanging banters this morning. And of course, the big, bold headline from the New Telegraph this morning has it that INEC to disqualify 43 candidates over age. INEC to disqualify 43 candidates over age. 102 senatorial House of Reps candidates fate uncertain. 12 school certificates, 14 PhD holders battle for presidency. 3 held for impersonating INEC workers. And of course, if you need to get more on that, page 2 and page 9 has those information. And quickly, no smiling faces, tears, as family, friends, and military bid farewell to the former CDS. And of course, that is the widow, talking about the wife of the former chief of air staff, talking about Alex Bade, Mrs. Mary Bade, doing Bade's burial at the National Military Cemetery in Abuja yesterday. And of course, the remains of Bade being buried at the military cemetery in Abuja. Underneath that, it's coming from the Senate President talking about Bukola Saraki. And it says the federal government 2.4 billion daily fuel subsidy is fraudulent. Federal government 2.4 billion daily fuel subsidy fraudulent. And of course, your figure is not correct, says Senate Committee Chairman. And of course, that can be found on page 4. And quickly to bring you to the health section of the paper is 20 seconds exercise can improve fitness. That is the study. Quickly, let's take you and bring you up to speed with the back page of the New Telegraph. And it says the presidential debate, a needless talk show. And of course, it's political musing with Ike Aboye. And if you're wondering, the two faces of the people that never made it to the debate, talking about the current president, and the president talking about, I beg your pardon, Muhammadu Buhari, and Atiku, the man jostling to take that position. Presidential debate, a needless talk show. All right, this is the 3 papers we have with you, but tick, and it's time for us to talk. And of course, I still have Ruth Ahams here with me. Ruth? Looking at the papers this morning, so much to talk about, but let's start with this, and because that concerns you and I. The presidential debate, a needless talk show, and of course, it's Aboye. Of course, you and I know that the presidential debate organized by Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria, and the people, after scrutiny, they were given the opportunity to be in that debate. First and foremost was the president himself, taking up, standing in as the party candidate, presidential candidate for APC. And of course, we have Atiku Abubakar, and of course, Kingsley Moghalu was there, and Fela Durotaye was also there, and also Ekwesili. But unfortunately, the president didn't show up. And of course, the reason coming from the presidency was that the president was too tired after summer. But just hang on, we have a caller on the line. Hello, good morning. Chiemela, it's good to have you on the program. Good morning, sir. You're welcome to the program.
Yeah, how are you? How are you this morning?
Very well, sir. Nice to have you. You can see we're doing great.
Yes. I just want to comment on the last item you read on the super now.
Yes, the presidential debate. Yes.
That is a fact commentary. And so the people in Nigeria because for the right. That is why when you go to run, that is why the president and others want to go and meet people and gather in the stadium and we just wait. And we will talk to them and leave. Because they are professional. And when you see the largest crowd in Nigeria, and people that come to rally, they are from the north. And what else possible? Why are you here? Tell me to invite them, give 5,000 naira or 2,000 naira. And they just went by the president and the man goes by them. And the man goes. And they'll tell the president. Come to the debate and tell people and tell them the business mind and the lighting lane. What you want to do, what you want to do for the people when you are elected, you run away. So such commentary at the back of that paper, why we are being misgoverned. That is why the leadership of this country takes us for the right. Because they see that we don't know them and we don't matter.
Okay, all right.
Only knows so such a thing cannot. I don't even discuss because I know the owner of that paper. And because the owner of the paper is so on that side, I cannot come and say the
all right.
That is the rubbish comment as far as I'm concerned.
All right, thank you.
Why is it that come to the studio or come to a hall and talk to 30 people or 40 people? The present that you are afraid. But you're not afraid going to a stadium to talk to 1 million people. Why? I'm not sure. Just a simple reason. Why would Buhari people prefer talking to 1 million people, one of them, hey, the people and they go, and just set the camera, the moderator and your and people is all, are you afraid? I saw that MCL is preparing to get them the studio. And I hope to be an answer one of the questions. Thank you. Have a nice day.
All right, thank you very much, Chair Mela. You've spoken like a true Nigerian. Of course, that is our first point of discussion, talking about the newspaper review this morning. Ruth, you heard it from Chair Mela. The question is, if you could talk to 1 million and above crowd, what makes it difficult for you to stand and talk to some certain persons in the hall? Well, that is the question for the politicians to answer. And of course, Ruth, presidential debates, all these people were given opportunity to talk to Nigerians and also talk to the world what their blueprints and what their plans are for the nation. Fortunately, the president never showed up, and of course we were told because the president was in the line of duty doing some other stuff and wasn't opportune to be part of the debate. Then of course the PDP presidential candidate, talking about Abubakar Atiku, came in and of course gave his reason why he would not sit on the same platform. And he says, if the president is not around, then I see no reason why I should sit. Of course, Nigerians also has been able to comment on that, to say, look, you're not here to talk to the president. You're here to talk to the people. Ruth, what's the take on this?
Well, I think Abubakar Atiku, the presidential candidate of PDP, should have used that opportunity to prove himself. APC have been accusing him of so many things. He would have used that opportunity. I think it was a very golden opportunity for him to sell himself to Nigeria.
Even having come to the venue,
yes,
and shook hands with Kingsley and with Fala Durotai, only for him to hit the exit door to say, look, I'm not going to sit with you. I'm here to talk and ask questions also. And since the president is not here, gentlemen, I'll take my leave. All right, we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, it's nice to have you on the program.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. It's nice to have you on the program.
Hello?
We can hear you, sir. Go ahead. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
What I'm saying.
What's your name, sir?
In this debate that is disturbing every time disturbing people over the paper over this. This debate, in the time of Basanjo, did they debate? In the time of Yaradua, did they do the debate? In the time of Goodluck Jonathan, did they do the debate? Why should people be so exceptional now? Why should they be so exceptional now? And another thing is this. The time the PDP candidate came in and they said to see the main opponent is fighting, he just left. That shows you that Freddy has something in mind that when he bitter, he said the other opponent was there. He would have used that opportunity to relax himself and talk to Nigerians openly, and everybody will hear him, and he will not get more interruption there that particular time. In this particular one now, if two of them were there, I hope there would have something bad if you would have had about this particular.
Okay, sir. Sir? Hello, sir. Hello, can you hear me, sir?
Hello? Yes,
can you hear me? Let me ask you a question. In your own thinking or your own imagination, do you think organizing a debate, if it was not done in the past, but I know there have been debates in the past, but if those debates were not done in the past, is it wrong for broadcasters?
Come again.
I'll take that again, sir. I said, do you think it was a bad idea to organize a debate for those that you and I think wants to rule or take us to a better position? Do you think it was a wrong decision to organize a debate for people to come and tell us their manifesto? Do you think that was a wrong move? Hello? All right, sorry we lost that caller, but please, my question we're pausing out to you is, was it a wrong decision for the Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria to bring in people that wants to take up leadership or take one or justify one position or the other. Was it a wrong move to have invited these people to come and talk to Nigerians and the world in general? So that's the question we have for you. And please call us back and tell us your opinion. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, sir.
This is Mr. Harrison.
All right. Mr. Harrison, it's nice to have you on the program. What's your take?
Yeah. Our president did not come to protect. It sounds so wrong. Sounds very, very wrong. It's not good. Because if you know that you are a good leader, you show that you are a good leader. You have to come out. Even if there is a lot of people accusing you for all this stuff, you have to come out. You say your mind. You tell us that those things that we are hearing is not good. You have to make something. Say something that will give us hope. That they are going to lead us in a better place again. Instead of really show up. So that means that the president cannot come and tell us what he really has for us. For us to vote him again. That means that it's wrong. It's very, very wrong, my brother.
Okay, Mr. Harrison, I just want to also ask you a question. What do you think about the PDP presidential candidate talking about Abubakar Atiku? He got to the venue, and because the president was not around, he also hit the exit door. Was that okay by you as well? What's your take? All right, sorry, we lost the caller. Please do call us back and tell us what you think. We're still taking a look at the newspaper. And of course, Ruth, quickly, because our guests are here, but let's just point it out to looking at INEC to disqualify 43 candidates. And of course, it is just 23 days, and you and I will be heading to the polls. And now disqualification is setting for INEC is saying, look, 43 of you, note that we're going to disqualify 43 candidates over age and 102 senatorial House members of Reps candidates fate uncertain.
Well, I think if INEC really wants to disqualify candidates over age, they should start from the head. Okay? Yeah, they should start from the head because unless maybe they disqualified over underage, I don't think there was anybody underage.
No, it's possible that, well, if you take a look at the headlines, over age, it's possible that falsification of age might have popped up, yeah. And so that's the more reason why. And I can say
unless that is that, but if it comes to maybe saying because of age you're being over.
No, nobody. As far as the rule is concerned, that has not been amended. There's no age bracket stopping you to contest for any of the positions.
Well, it may be because of that. But if we come about falsification of anything, I think this is not the first time we're seeing it play out. We're not seeing. This is not the first time we're seeing anything, both education.
So that's why INEC is taking the bull by the horn and saying this morning that 43 candidates will be disqualified because some of the information filled in are not correct.
But why now? The question is why now?
I think that's, well, INEC should be the one to answer.
Why now? Because
it's just 23 days.
INEC should have done this before now. 23 days to the election.
Well, sometimes it's good to hold on to certain things. I'm not the spokesperson for INEC, but sometimes it's good to hold on certain things and dashed hopes of people at the point that
they feel they've gotten there.
Yeah, they could not make amends. Because, I mean, why should you give INEC a forged age birth certificate? Why should you give, for example, if I am 45 and I go about saying that I'm 40, that is age falsification. And so INEC is saying this morning that, look, gentlemen, 43 candidates are over age, will be disqualified, and of course 102 senatorial houses, senatorial, and the House of Reps candidates will definitely know their fate if they will be the one to stand in as flag bearers for their party. All right,
let's keep our fingers crossed because I believe that stories will unfold from this. We'll get to know details and, of course, what will happen. Events will later reveal itself in the course of time. INEC disqualified for 3 candidates. But if you ask me, I would say it's a lapse on INEC's part because you should have noticed all this before now. 23 days to the election, everything should have been sorted out. People are now campaigning. So you should have done all this during the party verification and all that.
I'll tell you something. I'm not trying to hold brief for INEC, but I want you to look at it that we have almost 70-something or 90-something political parties. And of course, some of them would produce candidates, and some of them have produced candidates. Some didn't bring the candidates on time. The names of the candidates were not given on time. And looking at, you need to scrutinize each party, each person. And of course, it takes a lot to do this. And so if INEC is coming with this, if you ask me my sincere opinion, it's never too late.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. It's nice to have you on the breakfast program this morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Chima. I'm calling from Penantry.
All right, Mr. Chima, you have the floor. What's your take this morning?
Actually, I want to answer a few of your questions to the last caller.
Okay, please go ahead.
You talked about article getting to the venue. Like you said, is he talking to the president or talking to the nation? Actually, it was a debate. And he has to debate with the president. So the president must be there. Because two of them are presidential aspirants. So the president has to be there.
But the other people, wait a minute, the other people also seated are the same presidential candidates.
I can't hear you very well. Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. Maybe when you finish, you're able to hear me. Just go ahead. You have the platform right now.
Honestly, I hardly hear what you're saying.
Okay, just go ahead. Go ahead with your opinion. All
right. So I didn't blame Atiku at all about his action. Secondly, it is a big slap on the nation that one station, one is the recognized communication organization in Nigeria, had organized a debate for presidential candidate, and two of them shunned the candidate. It was a very big slap on the nation. I didn't like it. I like what I heard Atiku said. He said if he wins, he's going to make it a law that everybody coming to contest for the presidency must pass through a debate to tell us what he will do for us and why we should vote for him. Actually, I buy the idea of Atiku. Making it a law. The National Assembly should make it a law that people should sit on a round table and talk to us and let us know what they have for us. Now, he said he cannot, you asked a question that what makes it important for him to stand here to talk to the people while he addressed millions of crowds. That is another insult because he feels he can go to the crowd and talk to people, they will not ask him questions. But here in the debate, there are questions that he will find difficult to answer. I think that is
all right, thank you very much, and I'm very sure now you can hear me since you're off the line. The question that we're pausing out, and Nigerians are asking the question, talking about Nigerians in diaspora, also reacting to say the People's Democratic Party candidate, talking about the presidential candidate, flew in from US to attend the debates. And of course, Nigerians in diaspora, also those watching, was happy that the president, the presidential candidate flew in because respect he has for the organizers and for Nigerians. Only for him to get to the venue and discover that the president was not there, and he decided to call it quits. And Nigerians are saying, were you making plans to talk to the president, or were you making plans to address Nigerians and the world at large? And the question is, why should he take the exit door when he was already at the venue? I'll leave you to put up the puzzle and find a solution to that. All right, we go for a break, and when we come back, the program Good Morning Abia continues with the discussion segment. Please stay with us.
one-stop breakfast show on TV.
The storm of partisan politics has thrown up numerous candidates.
Who can best represent the people?
Abia Media Roundtable presents Political Debates 2019 for governorship and National Assembly candidates.
Let the best candidates emerge through fair debates on relevant issues. Abia Media Roundtable.
Fairness and integrity.
2019 Abia Political Debates.
Date: 4th February for National Assembly candidates, 21st February for governorship candidates. Venue: Bines Hotel, Herbert Macaulay Hall, Aba. For more information, call 080-5483-3026, 080-3669-3622, or 080-3300-3566. This program is proudly brought to you by ActTV, BCA, Boss FM, Flow FM, Magic FM, MCLtv, NTA Channel 6 ABA, PBS, Pesetar FM, Love FM, Vision Africa, and Ibere Online TV.
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV. Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Guy, you know that yellow papa where they were street where we're so?
Wait, which one? That one where they trip for me? Now my babe now.
Free me, Joe. If you no get money, hide your face. I hide my face.
Come, now me you talk like that. Guy, I be big boy. You see this TV so? You know how much I buy am? 200k, see this one. You wear poor like don't show the market rat.
True, now me they call market rat. See all those Gucci and Bate where hush puppy they show for Instagram so. Now me buy am for am.
Guy, you know e-money? E-money na my boy. Money where you dey spray, now me give am.
See this one oh, you know that Linda Cage house for Banana Island? Now me dash her.
That one a house? Maybe you know OBO Davido. That 30 billion where dey your account. Now me borrow am.
Forget it. You see that snake where swallow jam money?
Good morning, Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on TV.
Good morning and you're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still Good Morning Abia, your number one breakfast program. Yeah, coming to you live from the AIMBA studio, yeah, in the city of Abia State. And of course, it is time for us to talk this morning, and we will be taking a look at the state of the nation. And to talk with us this morning, we have three gentlemen. Starting from my left is Uche Emeku. Uche Emeku is a political analyst, a human rights activist. Uche, good morning. It's nice to have you on the program.
Good morning, and good morning, Abia.
And of course, sitting close to Iche Emeku is Ioma Emelogo. Ioma, it's nice to have you on the breakfast program. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Abians. Good morning, friends.
And of course, close to Ioma Emelogo is Barrister St. Moses, a human rights activist, a broadcaster, and also a political analyst and the financial I beg your pardon, I take that again. Barrister St. Moses is also the organizing secretary of the PDP. Sir, good morning. It's nice to have you on the breakfast program.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, gentlemen, you're welcome, and it's time for us to talk. And this morning, we'll be taking a look at the state of the nation. Quickly, Barrister St. Moses, I'd like to start up with you. The bone and other practitioners decide to put up a political debate. And of course, it was on air that these debates was going to be for those jostling for the #1 position. And of course, you and I know the outcome of that. But let's start up with the president not coming to honor the political debates. What's your take when you heard that the president didn't show up?
Well, you see, the political system in this country has been one that sometimes looks funny. The yardstick for determining who occupies an elective position has not been smoothed. Something that varies from where one is coming from, the religion he belongs to, the language he speaks, and not necessarily whom he is. And that is why when the president refused to come, to some people who are elites, it's very serious. But to our political environment and the yardstick we choose, it doesn't matter. So as far as I'm concerned, when I heard he never came, it's one of those things that happened in Nigeria. And nobody raises eyebrow. So he did not convince. He is sure. Whether you know whom he is or not, that is not the criteria of making him president. So it doesn't matter whether he comes.
All right, while you're talking about the president, let's also talk about some of the other candidates that were present. And also, your party representative, talking about Abubakar Atiku, came to the venue, and because the president was not around, decided to leave. What's your take on that as well? Was that a calculative political move, or it was something more to that?
Partly. He sounds justified.
How do you mean sound justified? Was he coming to talk to Nigerians and the world? Yeah, I'm also asking you the same question. Was it proper for him to have walked out?
It wasn't proper at all. I am now talking not as a party man.
You're talking as St. Moses.
St. Moses. Mm-hmm. You see, I thought if it were me, even though most of these people who occupy positions, once they are there, they believe they know it all. Mm-hmm. That was the time for him to finish it. It was an opportunity to slam whatever, say whatever he can, to score whatever points he needs or he needed. But like I initially said, to them, it doesn't matter. It does not form any of the yardsticks for which they are going to be voted for. That is why when you talk about electoral debate, many of them take it as if you are asking them to come and spend money. It's unnecessary.
When is a platform for them to express themselves?
They think because most of them, planned rigging. That is why they don't care what they do when they get into power. They believe that at the point of voting, they can buy their way. They can influence the people. They can say whatever they want. They can rig. They can buy the votes. So coming to explain to you whether he is capable of doing it or not,
doesn't really matter.
To them, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, Ioma Emelogo.
And that is very dangerous to us.
comes. All right, Eyoma Emelogo, I'll quickly go back to you. Very dangerous to us. Do you think that the president, talking about Muhammadu Buhari, and of course the PDP flag bearer presidential candidate Atiku, not honoring or coming to the venue and taking the exit door was a very good move?
Yeah, before I answer that, I want to take us to Let's Go Memory Lane. Before now, you know, during Sheikh Musa Yar'Adua's era, he did not participate in a debate. He was invited, but he did not appear. And that set a very bad precedent. It's unfortunate that Buhari and Atiku refused to show up during the debate.
Let's start up with the president, then we'll come to Atiku.
Okay, the president. I hope he will have also followed that bad precedent. It wasn't good, and it's not good for democracy. But I want to say something here. If we want to get it right, it should be enshrined in the Constitution. There's no legal backing to this debate.
Atiku had already made the first move that if he gets the #1 position, he's going to write to the National Assembly to make it a law that every person jostling for the #1 position should be able to come.
That is what I'm saying now. Now you cannot hold them. There's no legal backing. There's nothing to hold them. They can decide to come, they can decide not to come. We are looking at it from the moral justification that is wrong. But there's no backing that you must come. It's not a precondition, it's not a condition. That's what I'm saying.
All right, quickly, Emeku, you had your two other counterparts sitting close to you. You've heard their inputs. What's your take? Do you differ from both of them?
Yes, I believe the president not coming is a slap on the face of Nigerians and also the organizers of that debate. Because if Mr. President had known that he will not come, because he knows, of course, because in the past 3 times he went for this thing, he contested election. He never appeared in any debate. So he would have, told a part of honor by telling the organizers, look, I'll be too busy, I'm not going to appear.
And so what happens to Atiku that came to the venue? And
yes, Atiku's case is different because Atiku made serious efforts to come to that venue. And when he came to that venue, the subject matter, the main man there is the president.
Was Atiku coming to talk to Buhari, or he was coming to talk to Nigerians?
Now let me come. When you begin to cut me like this, I even forget what I want to say.
Please go ahead.
Yes. In America, you only have 2 major parties, 2 major candidates that goes for the debate. It's not even for every other person. And so when this Atiku will, because there are certain questions that the president needed to answer. There are also the ones that Atiku needed to also answer, because the debate has to also look at the antecedent, whether in the private life or in the public life. And the debate is not organized for one person or where the main man is not there. Because if you look at the number of people there, you find out that you have the proposition and the opposition has 4 there already. So who will there, how will this debate balance? So leaving America the same day to appear on the venue and for the president not to have come, I think the best thing he did, and I still stand by that, was to also withdraw, because there is no need. You don't have, when you have a boxing match, you have the champion, you have the challenger, and the champion is not there.
Okay, since you brought that on the spot, I would also tell you what questions some of the Nigerians in diaspora asked. And of this is coming for Ifeyiwa, and he said, for those people that believe that the president, talking about the PDP presidential candidate, did Nigerians and Nigerians in diaspora good for walking out, should ask themselves, if a World Cup is supposed to take place in Nigeria and the defending champion is Argentina, if Argentina did not show up, will the competition put to close? Because Argentina as the World Cup leadership.
Yes, let me.
So the question is back to you. You justify that by saying it was a good move. Hang on, sir. There was a good move for Atiku to have walked out of the organizers. And the question still goes back to you.
Yes.
Looking at what anyone has said.
And the World Cup you are talking about, there are rules. And the rules are clearly spelled out that if the defending champion fails to appear, there will be a walkover. In the debate, there is no such rule. Like Ihoma said here, it is a moral something. I mean, it has no legal backing. And until you now enshrine it in our constitution or in our laws that if you do not appear for debate, that you will be disqualified. And then I think it will be taken serious. And so, meanwhile, as it is now...
I think the problem here is that we don't even understand what the debate is for.
Thank you. Go ahead.
If we really understand what the debate is for, it's not the secondary school type of debate where you come to rationalize and begin to be eloquent and display how logical you are to fly away with the balloon like we used to say those days. It is merely called debate. What we have come is to tell the voters whom you are, not to whom the other person is. It is only when that person begins to claim what he is not that you can now say, no, what you have said you are is not what you are. You see, if anybody is coming to tell me because Buhari did not come, that is enough reason. And because there is no legal backing. Is there any legal backing on rallies? Is there any legal backing on going to churches and telling them to vote for you? You can decide to contest election without coming to vote. Coming to
rallies
and campaign. If you choose not to campaign,
so you disagree? You disagree with?
I disagree with Meko. You see, let me tell you. We need to know the people we are voting for, not merely because he is my church person or he is my Marabo man. We know the real you. That is why we have not made any headway. We know our rulers after they have gone in and begin to display the satanic verse they are made of. This debate they talk about would have been one. If you look at the American debate, it's one of the areas Americans begin to know
who they want to vote for.
Just that 1 hour or 2 hours interaction. Americans will say, yes, this person is likely to be the winner, likely to be the person that we, do what we want. A situation you come, a president cannot express himself. And he is hiding under that cloak. And you can express yourself. You know what you want to have, you give to the people. And you come in because of the other person who cannot express himself and wants to hide. You say, no, you cannot shave somebody's head. Are they coming for Buhari's debate? The subject matter of the debate, is it Buhari or APC? It is Nigerians and what we need. And if you want to carry out these things, you should tell us how you will be able to do it when they put the questions to you. So I disagree with anybody who says it was justified for Atiku to go the way he did.
All right.
Can I say something?
All right, I'll come to you. Yes.
Yeah, I want to align myself with Ibeko. You see, when we are talking about this debate, just like St. Moses rightly pointed out, it's a platform, a forum, where you come to tell the people what you are going to do, your manifesto. But you see, that you refuse to appear, you refuse to be part of the debate. We can't compare ourselves with America because there are a lot of.
Why can't we compare?
There are a lot of indices. When you talk about the umpire, which is the INEC, in America,
We're talking about the debate, and you said, you gave instances and said, try to draw from what
what I'm saying is that...
No, just hang on, sir. You said that there is no way you can compare. We're talking about the debate. The American government organizes a debate for...
Mike, hear me out. What I'm saying is, there are a lot of indices. Developmentally, we are not where they are. One.
It has nothing to do with debates. I'm
coming. You see, in America, the level of enlightenment they have there is not the same level here.
Why do you start the debate then?
The debate.
Why do you bring it up?
That is why they refuse to.
What do you hold touching?
The aim of the debate is to showcase yourself, to show your manifesto.
Is it to showcase the other?
Yourself.
And their manifesto?
Yes.
So why do you refuse to showcase it? Because the other
I'm coming. If you refuse to, now let me tell you the indices that work for you or against you.
We're not talking about this refusal. We're saying the reason he gave. The reason he gave. I'm not saying that Atiku is wrong for walking away. I'm not saying that. But the reason he gave that he's walking away because Buhari did not come. It's where I say he is wrong. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
he's there to showcase himself, the manifesto of PDP, not that of APC.
Mike, what I'm trying to
go ahead, sir.
Is that there are things that forms the basis, whether with the manifesto or without the manifesto. That's what they have at the back of their mind that made them not appear.
Okay, just hang on. Emeko, I can see you. Just hang on. Sorry, please.
Yes, I want
to hold on to your thought, Mr.
I want to say whether the debate is at a secondary school of a university of a professional body, if a debate has only one definition all over the world, and you cannot have a debate. A debate is not even a symposium or a seminar or workshop where one party can do it all alone. You have to go both sides because there are issues that could arise where the organizers or the moderator will ask a question. And when he asks that question and the other person could give an answer that the other person needs to also address before going into his own district. And that is the thing. And it is like robbing of man. It is like bringing out the very best in every other, debater that is on the distance. So telling me that it is not a secondary school something, no. At least the evolution is from there, even from the primary school, even from the homes. Because you need to interact, you need to interrogate and change certain narratives concerning your personality. If it were all about campaign, if it were all about one person, the campaign ground is enough.
Mr. Emeko, when you talk about one person, they have all the candidates that was present. Of course, you and I know that Fela Dorotere was there, Kingsley Moghalu was there, and also Obi Okwesili was there.
Yes.
Was Atiku being fair to have walked up, shook hands with these other candidates, and finally spoke to the organizers to say he's opting out of the debate because the number one man was not around?
Yeah, it's incomplete, man. That's what I'm saying. Now, this is the man that is on the seat.
So, was up to you.
Yes, to me. This is the man on the seat who should be there to explain certain things.
Gentlemen, if you're just joining us, let's say still good morning, Abia, your number one breakfast program on TV. And of course, we'll be taking a look at the state of the nation. And of course, the discussion at the moment is the just concluded political debate with the president and the People's Democratic Party candidate Atiku did not show up for the debate. And of course, I have three gentlemen still here with me. And you also can be part of the discussion by calling the numbers on your TV screen. Quickly tell us your opinion. And if you have any questions for my three guests this morning. Gentlemen, you heard Emeko. Quickly, let's also take the dart of the banters. You and I know that 23 days left. Nigerians will be heading to the polls. Before we go further, let's see who is on the line. Hello, good morning. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling us from, please? Please, can you just speak up a bit so we can hear you, sir? All right, Ike. Okay, Mr. Aja, what's your take? You heard the three gentlemen.
I want to react on the issue on ground. Last time you answered this program, I asked the question, which state of the state? This is being Atiku and Buhari, or is it between the presidential candidate? Because when you sometimes people are looking at this as if it is a debate between Abuja and Buhari. And we are not targeting a party system. We have a multiple party system here about the three other candidates are here. Yes, somebody that wants to become the state here and go back. I think I hate it because the president, the because of that reason, then it's not going to take that. To me, I see that as a plan between Buhari and Atiku. We don't want the people to know what they have in store for us. That is why they are causing the situation, because the nation will have been asked. Especially the issue of the restructuring Nigeria. I think we don't want to that people will not know whether they don't want to be held accountable for anything. That's the way I look at it, because I don't see anything.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Ajayi. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for time's sake, Mr. Gentlemen, you heard what the caller said. The caller believes that the two candidates, the two candidates that were supposed to be talking about the president and the People's Democratic Party's candidate, Atiku Abubakar, he believed that the two of them not coming was a slap to the face of Nigerians, and as a matter of fact, he also believed that there's much to it for the two candidates not to have shown up. All right, gentlemen, to the next question is, of course, it's 23 days, and you and I know that Nigeria will be heading to the polls. Barrister said Moses, how ready are Nigerians? 23 days, how ready is INEC? Do you have any fears?
I'm frightened. Not only fears.
Over what?
Over the readiness of the INEC.
But INEC said you're ready. So why are you scared? Why are you frightened?
You see, in logic, it's not only the object that matters. The subject itself. Then the surrounding environment. The happenings. There are indices, indicators, that when they begin, the Bible says it, when the desolating sacrilege is set off, where it should not be. Say, whosoever is reading it should be alarmed. You see, a situation, the INEC claims to be independent. The INEC claims they are going to give us the best election. But when you look at the happenings in INEC, it points towards what an agenda.
Gentlemen, let me just bring it to you. There's a breaking news coming up that Obi Ekwesili withdraws from the presidential race. This just came in right now from Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria to say breaking news. ACP and Obi Ekwesili withdraws from presidential race. We'll keep you updated with that. Go ahead, please.
See, if you look at the way the ruling party is setting their agendas, making way for INEC to have reasons for what may happen, you see, you become afraid. If you look at the certain appointments that have been made in INEC, like when what's her name? Zakara was posted to the department where everybody is frowning at, and yet INEC sticks to it. That shows that there is something up their sleeves.
Still talking about Zachary, INEC actually gave what Zachary's position is supposed to be. And you and I know that even APC also came up and defended that there was nothing wrong for Zachary to have been chosen to be part or head in the committee of the coalition center. You and I know that the same Zachary did help INEC when Goodluck Jonathan was the president. And of course, she got a recommendation from the president as an outstanding member of INEC. And so if the former president could give such a recommendation that Zachary was outstanding, what is wrong in having somebody that was outstanding from the former president working with the current INEC?
You see, an Igbo person who is an abia person, who is a referee, another person who is a referee.
Yes.
Will be a wonderful referee if there is a competition between Lagos
State
team,
and Abia State.
Lagos team and the Zamfara team. That's a referee. Will be a wonderful referee and we get a whole lot of commendation. That same referee, even if he exhibits the same level of mastery, cannot have the same recommendation when the team involved is Abia State. Nobody should be a judge in this whole case.
Okay, just hang on. We'll come to you. Still hold on to your thoughts. Yes, Ihoma MLOB wanted to make
what I want to say is you are asking.
We're looking at Zachary Mohammed right now.
Okay, Zachary. For the whole participants, the opposition, to cry foul. If INEC is sincere, they should have removed the woman. For them to have come up with issues about the woman, the best thing they should have done is to remove her. And
Okay.
again,
hold on
and
to your
again,
thoughts. Hold on to your thoughts, and let me. So you can also give me your input on this. Note that Zachary Mohammed is not the first time to INEC. Zachary Mohammed was one of the people that also was part of the last election, where the president recommended and said Zachary Mohammed has what it takes to be part of INEC.
Mike, let me ask you a question.
Who won at that
Mike,
last
let me ask you a question.
election? I'll come to you.
If you have a gate man in your house, or two gate men in your house, and you happen to like one out of the two, and gives him money to keep, only for you to find out that he's the person that steals money from your house, what do? You change. This woman, there's a proof that she is related to Buhari.
Yeah,
And
but
I'm
she's
coming.
also
As at the
Nigerian.
time she was
She's a
appointed,
Nigerian.
So she can't.
That's
decide.
not what we're saying.
Look
What
at
we're saying is that
Moses
when
said.
Jonathan was giving her that recommendation, she was a northerner.
And
then the same person was a southerner. At the same time, she conducted this very last election
Buhari
we're
won.
talking about. Buhari won. Now a northerner, her kinsman. Nigerians are saying,
for fair play, a southerner should hold the position.
Just hang on. So.
and that southerner or somebody from the middle belt who has no
affiliation.
Okay, no, a southerner, because the contestants this time
are not.
The major ones are not. So why do you put the same rat
Gentlemen,
that is known to carry fish?
Gentlemen, let me ask you a question. And of course, Emeko was on this program, but I'm going to take you up to speed. Let us assume that having Zachary was a decoy from the presidency, as most Nigerians in diaspora would say. And what happens if the president decided to bring out Zachary and brings in somebody else? Would you also react the same way?
You see, is it the duty of the president to begin to determine who occupies?
But it wasn't even the president that nominated Zachary. It was
We are
INEC.
saying, listen,
It was
the
INEC.
INEC man is from there.
It was INEC that
But
nominated.
The INEC chairman has been traced as a relation of Buhari.
But
that one generated.
Hang on, Sir Moses. You are referring to this TV station. And if we are into a debate or sort of, and you're one of the umpire, and people know that you might have affiliation with us, don't you think it will arouse more eyeballs to be on you?
No matter how neutral I claim to be, that's what I'm saying.
That's
That's what I'm saying. Anybody who is raising an eyebrow is right.
Just hang on, we have another caller on the line. If you must call us, kindly reduce the volume of your TV set so we can hear you. Gentlemen,
what I'm saying is
Nigerians in diaspora have said, look, it's a good thing for the PDP to complain, but it is better to have Zachary, because one, Zachary's presence has awoken the consciousness of everybody to say, look, watch out for her. And that is going to keep everybody on his toes. Don't you share the same
You see, my problem in an election is that Ezeku, with due respect to him, his eminence, he used to say something. He said, let them call their name. Forget Kopito. If you see what is happening, elections in Nigeria, the moment it is announced, it's when you begin to know whether it was free or not.
Okay, hold on.
And the next place you go,
I'm
is
sure
court.
Emeko would have something. Emeko, you heard the two gentlemen giving their opinion. What's your opinion on this?
Yes, my opinion on this is that the way, this present administration is elevating nepotism, it's mind-boggling.
Okay.
It makes one want to go crazy. You see, at any given point in the past, when there is a context of this nature, normally a neutral umpire is taken. No matter the kind of expertise that one has, he stays out of this thing. You now bring
Even
in
though he's very good at what he or she does.
Wait now, you bring in a neutral person. You see, we are in an election where the winner takes all. It is like when the damage has been done, it has been done. And I want to also bring your mind to one thing. In order to perfect what they are planning to do, you can see the onslaught against the CGN of Nigeria. Because there is, there is this, undertone that there might be litigation in the courts at the end of the day. And the man that will not give...
Can I just stop here and take who the caller is? I beg your pardon. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good morning, sir. Nice. Good morning, sir. Nice to have you on the program. Can you tell us your name and where you're calling us from, sir?
Yeah, good morning. My name is
All right, Mr. Okachi. All right, you heard what the discussion is. What's your contribution?
Hello. I can't hear you clearly, but I know you can hear me.
I can hear you. Go ahead. We can hear you. Go ahead. What's your take?
I want to speak on the issue of not attending the debate. I think we need a very good opportunity. So there are people in Nigeria, even though the president is not yet, I think we need a very good opportunity. Then on the issue of Zakari, I think it is better for one to be replaced. So avoid all this agitation. I think it's better to do the right thing because there are millions of Nigerians who really who can do this. So I don't know how that family shall have.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Okachi. All right, quickly.
So the thing is this: why? Now the question that comes to mind is why is it, or what comes to mind? Why is it that APC is defending something a supposedly independent body is doing? Why don't you allow INEC to say their position and maybe try to convince us instead of APC saying that the woman must be there and that this has happened, that has happened. And it is known that Amina Zakari is a blood relation of the president. Why do you keep her there? Why do you want this trouble? And again, remember that the collation center is where the main action is. That is where elections results are changed. That is where it is authenticated. That is what, at the end of the day, that the court will consider when when anything goes out there, because it is the discrepancies that runs within that cycle that is there. And now she's an expert, according to what you said the president said. In that case, she is there to do a very perfect job, even if she's going to make. Why don't her step aside? There are too many parastatals she could head that does not relate to INEC. For goodness sake, we need confidence, we need trust in the system. Why do you make us, even before we get to the election, to start being afraid? Look at all the appointments, all the major appointments, the important appointment that has been made in this country under this present regime. Look at how lopsided it is. Look at how brazen it is. It is as if the rest of Nigerians are fools, and it is not good. The best thing they should do is to set that woman aside for confidence to return to this system.
All right, for confidence to be restored in the system. But let's bring you up to speed that the Ekwesili withdraws from the presidential race, talking about the ACPN candidate. Gentlemen, I'm going to read this to you the way it came straight to us. Candidates of the Allied Congress Party of Nigeria, ACPN, Dr. Obiangeli Ekwesili, has withdrawn from the 2019 presidential race. And of course, the spokesperson of a campaign organization, Mr. Ozioma Obabuko, disclosed this in a statement today, Thursday. He explained that the former Minister of Education stepped down from the race to help build a coalition to prevent the All Progressive Congress APC and the People's Democratic Party PDP from winning the forthcoming election. According to the statement, the decision followed intensive consultations with leaders from various walks of life across the country over the past few days. I deem it necessary for me to focus on helping to build a veritable coalition to ensure a viable alternative to the APC-PDP hashtag in the forthcoming election. Dr. Ekwesili was quoted. End of quote. Gentlemen, 23 days and Ekwesili steps down. Barrister Sam Moses, was that your expectations?
Well, I am very surprised at that.
And of course you heard the reason why she's stepping down. Yes. To form a coalition to make sure that the APC and the PDP does not take the #1 seat.
Well, that's a pipe dream, very tall dream. You see, when you don't understand the politics of this country, you begin to import ideas from America and the Britain and try to make it work. You see, you look at the people the very person that is drinking curry, caused by you. You are the person that make him to drink curry when he's supposed to have 3 square meals a day. Will quickly forget his or her travels the moment you give him a bag of rice for him to vote for you again, and he will vote, forgetting that the bag of rice will end in a week's time. And in fact, if he was drinking the garri with sugar, the sugar will be taken away. That's why second tenor is always dangerous. When you are putting somebody in a second tenor, or you are putting somebody, like I always say, first tenor is by faith, second tenor is by hope. You already know the person you are going in. If that person does not perform, and he comes to bribe you, he is going to loot the whole treasury because he's not coming back again. So if Obiangeli Ekwesili believes that it is by the coalition that he is going to stop PDP and APC, she may make mistake. But if it is by coalition that he will strengthen one of these two parties,
I would like to quote her again and see if you could make something out of this. I deem it necessary for me to focus and helping to build a veritable coalition to ensure a viable alternative to the APC and PDP. Mr. Ihoma, you heard that coming from the ACPN presidential candidates. If you were the supporter of Ekwesili Obi, how would you feel?
Well, Mike, from the first day Dr. Obi Ekwesili came out to contest for president, I told people around me that this woman will not end this journey.
How did you come to your conclusion?
Why I say that is there are many. We have states, we have local governments. If you come to Abia State, I don't think that party is even existing here. If you go to many local governments, you can't see the presence of that party. So I feel she was not serious. I was thinking that she will definitely have to step down. But my thinking was that she's going to step down and collapse her political structure to either APC or PD. For her to say she's going to form a coalition, I feel that will provide an alternative. I have always believed in Obi because she's a woman that is focused. She's a woman that has integrity. A woman that what she says she will try to do it. But this one, she can't. Before the election comes, Obi will reverse. she'll go to APC or PDP. But if you ask me, she's going to PDP.
All right, that's your opinion. Emeko, of course, you and I know that Mahmoud came up and said we have 68 registered political parties, and that includes APCN. And now the presidential candidate for the party is saying, I am no longer interested. I am stepping down after due consultation. Who and who do you think Obi would have consulted before making up the decision?
Well, I believe it's just she's just trying to make up something, because I think it was just last week or so that they went for this debate. Why didn't you? So I believe it's just a way of finding an excuse to say, in 23 days, what kind of coalition is she going to form? Is it rocket science? What magic is there to do? I think.
But we saw coalition during the last election in Osun State, when the SDP man decided to do coalition with the APC party.
That was when it was.
And so that was not even. That was even.
That one wasn't a coalition. It was a master stroke in rigging, a new formula. Because what they did there was to pause the election, and then use that thing as an excuse to now rig the election, and everybody knows that the election
say
is
something. Yes, you see, why I said I was surprised is this. You see, in this election, it is one who knows he will not win, that has no interest in occupying the seat, that tells you what is going on in the field. When I saw Biodio, I was happy, because I said, at least we will have information about what will be done wrong. He will be the watchdog for this election. I never knew she will withdraw. Because withdrawing means she will lose capacity of certain things she ought to be doing, and the people will take her serious. Because as a candidate, she will cry wolf, and people will run that wolf is coming. But now that she's planning, she has withdrawn. My brother, she will no longer have the voice of a candidate. So the voice of a candidate in opposition is always louder. But now that it's forming a coalition, let's know her position on the coalition. If it is a coalition that will also serve as a watchdog to the electioneering process, then that will be okay. But if it is a coalition, like she said, that will provide a viable alternative to APC and PDP, that may be in the next election.
All right, gentlemen, let's also bring you up to speed that all the TV stations and radio stations in Abia State is putting up something, and of course it's Abia Media Roundtable, and this is political debate. And of course we have NTA Channel 6, Aba, MCLtv, ActTV, PBS TV, Living TV, Magic FM, Buzz FM, Love FM, Pace Setter, BCA, Flow FM, Ibere Online TV. All these TV stations will be coming together to organize the political debate. The questions people are asking Barrister St. Moses, because your TV station is also part of it. The first question is, what is the significance to political debates?
You see, political debate is, like I said, it's not a primary school debate. It's not coming to show how eloquent you are. It's character-based. It's developmental based. It's economical based. It is something that you showcase that will happen if you come to power. And when you come to say that which you are going to do, questions will be put to you on the how you will be able to do these things. People will like to see if you have the mastery or likelihood of the mastery of carrying out what you are promising the people to do. Election debate is different from campaign rally.
Professor St. Moses, just wanted to talk. I want to ask you this as a legal practitioner. Politicians comes up to tell Nigerians and give us promises and tell us what they intend to do for the citizens. What happens if such promises is not kept? Do we have the right to sue such politicians?
That is why debate is different from rally. In rally, it is one way. In debate, it's a two-way.
So you can have the right to hold on to whoever comes up to talk to you and
when
say,
you are
I'm
talking
going
to me
do
on
this.
a debate, you say you are going to build 10 bridges, flyovers in Abia. The question will be put to you right there as to whether you even know the allocations, your internally generated fund, how you are going to come about the money to build bridges. If you show ignorance of how to get the money, I guess we know that this person is giving, I will water you and fire you. A man who sits on a debate, questions of how, the how question is not gotten in a rally. The rally is, I will give you water, I will give you fire, I will flood the market with rice.
Anyway, nobody gives fire. Just,
no. I mean the fire of the other, where is this man?
Go on.
Who said, I will water you and fire you. You see, but in a debate, it sizes you up. It brings out the who in you. Whether you know what you are talking about, whether you have in your fingertips how to go about what you are promising people to do. That's why I quarreled with Atiku when he left. It would have been there that he would show us that he has been the vice president of this country, that he knows the economic base of this country, that he knows what is wrong in the country now that he is about to put right. And when he is talking it, he will be giving facts. If you look at Obiano Kwesi and the other people, they were giving academic debate because they don't know what they were talking about. They were giving us academics. So it is the debate that will bring it up. The one that is being organized by Abia Media Roundtable will bring out who can do what, so that when Abians are choosing, they will be able to look at these people, look at the way they answer the question, look at the mastery they show of the economic problems of this state, and begin to make a choice. And not just because you are from my place, or he is a religious person, or he can speak your language very well, or he can be humorous, or he can display in a rally, or can bring the required number of bags of rice. No.
Okay. All right. You made the point. Of course, it's 23 days. We'll be heading to polls, and of course, February 4th. All the TV and radio stations that I read out to you will be organizing political debate. If you were to ask questions to the candidates, what would be that special question that you would want to ask?
Mike, information is power.
Yes, please.
And with such debate, it will serve as an emancipation table to the people, which will be information, which will bring about through information, it will bring about knowledge of what is already on the ground and what we expect to have. If I'm to ask a question,
what would be the question?
I will ask all the whole candidates to give us a roadmap on how to develop Abia. Let us hear from them and see what they have. Because if you don't plan, you fail. For you to be a governor, you must have planned on how to develop Abia, to make Abia better than where it is today.
All right, Uche Meku, you are a women rights activist. You've been one voice that has spoken, and when you think things are not done properly. And I also know that you are also going to be part of the people that will be asking questions. But a quick one, if you are to ask the candidates, what would be the special question? If you were to speak for Abia, to say, okay, Meku, you're not representing Abia, you're not representing Abia State citizens, what is going to be that question that you want to ask?
Yes,
just one question.
Yes, one question I will ask. Why is it that since the creation of Abia State, we have not, instead of us moving forward, we are going backwards? The incumbent and the incoming ones, if there is anything like that, I think they need to tell us why year in, year out, we'll be talking about constructing roads that will not outlive.
It's a continuous process. Don't
you
think so?
It's a continuous process, but is America still constructing roads?
Sure they are.
They are still constructing roads where they have done before.
Sure
have you been to Abuja? Of course, you always go to Abuja. The way Abuja was when that place, when government moved in there, is it the way it is now?
There's still a continuous process.
I said it is not the same thing, because if you leave Abuja, if you were in Abuja the last 1 month, if you go there now, you see that a lot of things has also changed.
Oh, sure, definitely.
Oh, good. So why is it that when you come to Abia State, everything remains as it is? Why is it so? That is the question I'm going to ask them.
All right, gentlemen, we have just 2 minutes. Quickly, Professor St. Moses, just in 1 minute, you heard that Asiwaju is pointing the finger, accusing the former president, talking about Olusegun Obasanjo, to say, look, you're expired, you have no pedigree when it comes to Nigerian politics anymore. And I say to you, Obasanjo, you have nothing to say, because you are a special man when it comes to rigging. And of course, you know, the president accused Buhari and his party of planning to rig the upcoming election. In 1 minute, 60 seconds, starting from now, what's your take on that?
Well, not them. That's my take.
All right, Ioma, you heard the banters being thrown, and even Oshumole also pointing hands to the former president of Obasanjo to say the days of impeaching governors is over. The days of fighting with the vice president is over. You have no stake when it comes to Nigerian politics. What is your take with the banters?
Anytime, any day until Obasanjo dies, Obasanjo is still a force to reckon with. Obasanjo, you can't take away who he is and what he is in Nigerian politics.
Okay, thank you. Emeku, of course you're called the sniffer. What do you sniff out of this?
Yes, I believe that some politicians are being over rascal, if there is anything like that. The rascality of the APC is overwhelming, honestly. Because Obasanjo is an elder statesman. No matter whatever happens, forget about the messenger and take the message. The sanctity of a sacrament does not rest on the vessel on which it is carried. That's my point.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, for giving us your time. This is how far we can go on today's program. Good morning, Abia. My name is Michael Ofonia, and of course, we can have a repeat of this program by 12 a.m. A repeat of this program at 12 a.m. on the same channel. This is where we'll be drawing the curtain for today, and we'll say stay tuned for the next program coming up on Salachi Umabia. Thank you for spending your time with us. Goodbye.
MCL, the world in your home.